the signal no one heard. The room was quiet except for the soft humming of machines. Alex Rayner sat alone in his small lab, staring at the data on his screen. Others had left hours ago, but he stayed. He always stayed. Alex wasn't famous. He wasn't rich. He was just a smart man who worked at a space research center. Most people didn't notice him, and that was fine. But tonight something strange caught his eye. His computer beeped. Then again. And again. It was a signal. Weak. Broken. Coming from far, far away. He leaned closer. This isn't normal, he whispered. The signal wasn't random. It had a pattern, a rhythm, like someone was trying to talk. He copied the data and ran it through his old decoder, the same one he used as a hobby. Numbers became sounds. Sounds became shapes. Then a map appeared on the screen. A location, he said softly. But this isn't from our solar system. He printed the signal and rushed to his team. It was almost midnight, but he didn't care. In the control room, only one man was there. Dr. Hayes, the head of the lab. "Sir, I found something. A signal." "Not from Earth," Alex said, showing the printout. Dr. Hayes looked at it, then laughed. "Probably space noise. These things happen." "No, it's not random," Alex insisted. "It repeats every 17 minutes, and look, a planet's coordinates." "Alex, we don't chase fairy tales. Go home." Alex felt like yelling, but he didn't. Instead, he walked out quietly. But he didn't go home. He went to the old hangar where his small ship was parked. It was dusty and old, but it still worked. He had fixed it himself over the years. It had just enough power for a short jump. He looked back at the lab one last time. No one followed. No one cared. "Then I'll go alone," he said. He entered. The ship uploaded the signal coordinates and launched into space. Hours passed. Stars moved like fireflies outside the window. He crossed empty space until finally, he reached orbit near a strange planet. His ship shook as it entered the atmosphere. What he saw below made his heart stop. The planet was breaking. Giant cracks ran through the ground. Lava spilled into the sky. Buildings were half buried. Clouds of smoke covered the air. It looked like the end of a world. He landed carefully in a quiet area. The land was shaking but still holding. Alex wore his breathing mask and stepped outside. The air was hot. The sky was red, but his scanner beeped. Something was alive nearby. He followed the signal to a large structure, half covered in ash and stone. It looked ancient but not abandoned. Inside, he found a sealed chamber. The door was locked with alien symbols. He scanned it with his tools, guessing the language. After some tries, the door hissed open. Cold air rushed out. Inside were two tall glass pods glowing faintly. Inside the pods were two figures, women, not human, but not machine either. They were beautiful, strange, and still alive. Alex's voice shook. "They're in cryosleep." He checked the system. It was failing. In minutes, they would die. He opened both pods one by one. Alarms blared, but he ignored them. The floor cracked under his feet. Time was running out. He carried the first woman to the ship, then came back for the second. Just as he stepped out again, the building behind him collapsed. He ran. The ground opened behind him. Fire rose from the cracks. His ship waited just ahead. He jumped inside, closed the door, and blasted off. As the ship climbed through the sky, Alex looked back. The planet, whoever lived there, whatever it was gone. Only the two women in his ship remained. They lay silent, breathing slowly, still asleep. He sat down, heart pounding, trying to understand what just happened. From the window, the stars looked the same, peaceful. But Alex knew everything had changed. The sisters of Velora, the stars outside Alex's ship, were silent, calm. But inside, his heart was racing. He had just escaped a dying planet. Two alien women, still unconscious, lay in the medical pod behind him. They were the last survivors of a world that no longer existed. He didn't know their names. He didn't know if they would live. He only knew one thing. He had to keep them safe. As the ship cruised through space, Alex moved to the med station. The systems were scanning the women's bodies. Strange symbols filled the screen. "Come on, tell me something," he muttered. One of the pods beeped. The taller woman's eyes opened, slowly, glowing faint purple. She gasped for air. Her body shook. Then her gaze locked onto Alex. She sat up fast. Too fast. Alex raised his hands. "It's okay. You're safe. My name is Alex. She stood, ignoring his words. Her body moved like a warrior's, strong, trained. "Who are you?" Her voice was deep and sharp. Alien, but translated by the ship system. "Where is this place?" Alex took a step back. "You're on my ship. I saved you from—" Before he could finish, she reached for something. At her side, a weapon? No, it wasn't there. "What did you do to my sister?" she demanded. "She's alive. Resting. Look," he pointed to the second pod. The younger woman was still asleep, her chest rising slowly. The warrior woman rushed to her, checking her pulse, her skin, her breathing. Only after a long pause did she relax slightly. "You saved us?" she asked, softer now. Alex nodded. "Your planet? It's gone." Her face changed. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. But her eyes became cold, like someone who had lost everything. "My name is Zira," she said. "My sister is Nyla." Alex looked at her. "I'm sorry about your world." Zira didn't answer. Instead, she sat beside Nyla's pod and waited. 3 hours later, Nyla woke up. Unlike Zira, her reaction was quiet. Her eyes fluttered open. She stared at the ceiling, then turned her head and saw Alex. She didn't panic. She simply asked, "Are we dead?" Alex smiled gently. "No, you're alive. But your world isn't." Nyla's face went pale. Zira held her hand. The sisters spoke in their own language for a few minutes. Fast. Emotional. Alex couldn't understand, but he could feel their pain. After a while, Nyla looked at him. "Thank you, Alex." Later that night, the three sat together in the main control room. Silence filled the space between them. "Why did you come to Valora?" Zira finally asked. "I picked up your signal. Nobody else noticed, or cared," Alex said. "But I did." Zira stared at him. "You risked your life for a signal?" "Yes," he said simply. "Someone needed help." Zira didn't trust easily. She was trained for war. Nyla, however, saw something else in Alex. Something rare. "Our people didn't believe humans were brave," Nyla said. "But maybe they were wrong." Alex smiled. "I'm not brave, I'm just stubborn." Suddenly, a loud beep echoed through the ship. "Incoming object detected," the computer said. "What now?" Alex muttered, rushing to the controls. On the screen, a dark shape moved behind them. "It's following us," Zira said. "Can you zoom in?" Alex did. The image sharpened. It wasn't a ship. It was a drone. Black, fast, and shaped like a spider. With wings, Zira's voice became tense. "Carnex." "Who?" Alex asked. "The machines that destroyed Valora. They send drones to hunt survivors." "How did it find us?" "They can smell power, movement, life." The drone moved closer. "We have to hide," Nyla said. "Shut down everything." Alex killed the lights, shut off the engines. The ship floated in silence. Outside, the drone passed. Once. Twice. Then, it stopped, right above them. "It's scanning us," Zira whispered. Suddenly, the drone fired. A beam. The ship shook. Sparks flew. Systems flickered. "So much for hiding," Alex said, jumping to the controls. "Hang on." He powered the engines and sent the ship into a steep dive toward a nearby asteroid field. The drone followed. Weapons? He asked. You don't have any? Zira snapped. I didn't expect to fight robots today. Zira stood and grabbed a small energy core from her belt. She opened a panel near the cockpit and plugged it in. A hidden turret rose from the ship's belly. You do now, she said. Alex laughed. I really like you. Zira smirked. Focus. The ship flew through narrow paths between rocks. The drone chased, firing lasers. Alex dodged left, then right. A rock exploded beside them. Nyla, aim at its wings, Zira shouted. Nyla pressed the turret controls. The gun spun and fired. One shot hit the drone's wing. It spun, lost control, and crashed into a floating rock. Boom! The sky lit up with fire. Alex breathed out. That was close. Too close, Zira said. They'll send more. Then we need to find help. Do you have a home base? Allies? Alex asked. Zira shook her head. No one is left. Nyla looked at him. Earth, your planet. Can we go there? Alex paused. Maybe. But they won't believe me. They barely believe I work there. We have no choice, Zira said. And Earth might be next. As the ship floated toward a safer zone in space, Alex sat alone at the window. He had left Earth as a nobody. Now, two alien sisters were looking to him for answers, for safety, for hope. But he didn't feel like a hero. He felt something bigger was coming, and this was only the beginning. They don't trust him. The stars were quiet again, but inside Alex's ship, nothing was calm. He had saved two alien sisters from a dying world. They had escaped a deadly drone attack. And now, they were heading toward Earth. But trust was still missing. Zira sat near the ship's exit, arms crossed, eyes always watching Alex. Her body didn't rest. She stood like a soldier, alert, ready. Nyla, on the other hand, was softer, more curious. But even she spoke carefully around him. Alex felt it they were with him, but they didn't trust him. 2 days passed, they flew in deep space, hiding in dark zones to avoid more Carnex drones. Supplies were running low. Alex did his best to keep the ship running. He fixed broken circuits, checked the life support, even cooked simple food with the little rations he had. He offered Zira some. She looked at it, sniffed. This smells like melted plastic. Close, Alex said. It's protein jelly, Earth style. She didn't smile, didn't eat. Nyla tried a bite. Not bad. Alex nodded. Thank you. Still, silence filled the ship. Finally, Alex broke it. I risked my life to save both of you. I brought you into my ship. I'm trying to help. What more do I have to do? Zira turned slowly. You don't understand. We don't know what you want. I want nothing. No one does something for nothing. Not in war, not in space. I'm not like that, Alex said. That's what makes you dangerous, she replied. Later that night, Alex sat alone at the control deck, fixing a damaged screen. Wires sparked. He sighed and kept working. Behind him, Zira walked in. Quiet, as a shadow, she watched him. You have no weapons, no crew, this ship barely works. Why did you come? I told you, Alex said, not looking up. I saw the signal, no one else listened. You're either a fool, she said slowly, or something else. A fool, probably, he replied. But at least a useful one. He connected the last wire. The screen lit up. Suddenly, an alarm. Object approaching. Speed 3,000 units, unknown signature. Alex jumped to the pilot seat. Zira looked out the window. Darkness. Then a glimmer. Another drone? Alex said. No, Zira whispered. Something worse. Outside the ship, a massive shadow appeared. It wasn't a drone. It was a scout ship, Carnex, 3 times the size of Alex's craft. Its body moved like liquid metal. No windows, no pilots, just death. Alex pulled the ship into a dive. Hold on, the scout fired. The ship shook hard. A wall cracked. Oxygen hissed from a broken pipe. We can't outrun them, Zira said. Then what? Alex shouted. Zira looked around, then opened a panel on the wall. Inside was a glowing cube. Alien tech. She handed it to Nyla. Use this. It's a shield generator. Plug it into the ship's core. Will it work? Alex asked. Once. For 2 minutes. Nyla rushed to the engine room. The scout fired again. A beam hit them from the side. The ship spun out of control. Alex grabbed the controls, trying to steady the ship. Zira stood tall, unshaken. Why aren't you scared? He asked. I've already lost everything, she said. This is nothing. Alex didn't reply. He just flew. Hard, fast, desperate. Nyla's voice came through the comms. Shield is ready. Turning it on. The ship glowed bright blue. Energy spread across the surface like a shell. The next blast from the enemy hit, but bounced off. For 2 minutes, they were safe. Where do we go? Alex yelled. Into the dead zone, Zira said. What? A field of broken ships. Radiation. No life. No machines go there. Perfect, Alex muttered. He turned the ship toward the dead zone. They entered darkness. Metal floated like ghosts. Destroyed ships from old wars. Satellites, parts, bones, no stars, just debris. The enemy scout stopped at the edge. It didn't follow. It's working, Nyla said. Alex sighed. For now, they moved deeper into the zone. Inside the ship, silence returned. But something had changed. Zira looked at Alex, not with hate, not with fear, with respect. Hours later, they rested in the lower chamber. Alex sat on the floor, breathing slow. Nyla sat beside him. You're different, she said. How? You're not a soldier, you're not strong, but you don't run. Maybe I'm too dumb to run, she smiled. My sister doesn't trust anyone, she said. But I think, maybe, you are worth trusting. Alex looked up. Thank you. Nyla's face grew serious. There's something you need to know. He nodded. Go on. Our planet wasn't destroyed by accident. It was a test. The Karneks wanted to see how fast they could erase a species. Alex's face went pale. Earth is next, she said. He stood. Walked to the controls. Then we stop them, he said. Zira walked in. You say that like it's easy. Not easy, he replied, but necessary. She looked at him. Then, for the first time, she said, I believe you. Outside, the ship floated through silent ruins. Inside, trust was growing. But far away, on a Karnex mothership, a machine eye lit up. Human ship detected. Tracking initiated. The hunt wasn't over. It had just begun. Escape from Velera, the dead zone, was cold, silent, endless. Alex's ship floated between broken remains of ancient spacecrafts, metal bones from forgotten wars. Nothing moved here. No light, no sound. Just wreckage and shadows, and yet they weren't alone. They're tracking us, Zira whispered. How do you know? Alex asked, keeping one hand on the controls. Because I would, she said. If I were them. 1 hour earlier before, entering the dead zone, they had picked up a weak signal, an old Veleran satellite still active. It sent a short burst every few hours. When Zira decoded it, her face changed. This isn't just a signal, she said. It's a warning. Alex looked at the data. About what? They're not done with Velora. They left something behind. Something big. Nyla stepped forward. A Karnex core, a black core. Alex blinked. What's that? Zira answered, her voice cold. A machine that eats planets, slow and silent. It feeds on energy, data, life. They left it there to erase every trace of us. And it's still running, Nyla added. Alex stared at the screen. The coordinates pointed to Velora's remains. We have to go back, he said. What? Both sisters turned to him. We can't let them finish the job. If we get that core, or at least record it, we'll have proof for Earth. Zira shook her head. We barely escaped last time. Alex stood. Then help me finish what we started. Now, they hovered near the edge of Valora's shattered orbit. The planet was gone, just pieces now floating like sharp black glass. But near the center of the wreckage was the core. That thing is alive, Nyla whispered. The black core pulsed slowly, like a heart. Thin wires floated out from it, spreading like veins into the debris. Tiny red lights blinked along its surface. We need a full scan, Alex said. He took out a small flying drone and launched it. The drone zipped toward the core, silent and fast. Scan in progress, the computer said. Everything was going fine until it wasn't. Alarm 3 enemy signals detected, the ship warned. Karnek's drones inbound, Zira cursed. They followed us here, trap. Alex grabbed the controls. Scan complete? 87%, Nyla said. We don't have time, Zira shouted. Yes, we do, Alex growled. Just a little more. Outside, the first drone appeared, sleek, black, shaped like a spinning blade. It fired instantly. A bolt of red light hit the ship's shield. Damage at 40%, the ship said. Alex turned the ship fast, dodging debris. The drone followed. 2 more drones joined the chase. They flew in perfect lines, cold and unfeeling. Nyla yelled. Scan complete. Pull the drone back, Alex ordered. The drone zipped toward them, but a blast hit its wing. It's going down, Zira shouted. Open the bay, Alex screamed. As the drone fell, Alex dove the ship under it. Bay doors opened. With a slam, the drone hit the deck. Alex didn't wait. Get us out of here. He fired the engines. Full speed. The ship flew through, exploding rocks and fire. 1 drone followed, then 2, then all 3. Inside the ship, sparks flew. Pipes burst. Oxygen leaked. They're too fast, Nyla said. Not faster than rocks, Alex muttered. He pulled the ship hard toward a falling chunk of the planet. Massive, spinning. The drones followed. At the last second, Alex flipped the ship. The drones crashed into the debris. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Boom, boom, silence. You did it, Nyla breathed. No, Alex said. We survived. Again. Not the same thing. Hours later, the ship floated in quiet space. Alex fixed broken systems while Zira and Nyla reviewed the scan. This data is perfect, Zira said. It proves the Karneks didn't just attack us. They wanted to erase us. Nyla looked at Alex. Earth must hear this. Alex nodded. Then it's time we go home. He set a course for Earth. But he knew the truth. Home wasn't safe anymore. 3 days later, Earth's orbit, the blue planet, appeared in the window. Beautiful, calm, but danger was coming. We have to do this right, Alex said. They won't believe aliens exist. They won't believe machines are coming. Zira agreed. Then we'll show them. They sent a signal to a secret contact, an old friend of Alex's, Captain Thomas Kane, head of a small space outpost, near the moon. He'll help us, Alex said. They docked at the station. Soldiers pointed guns. Zira and Nyla stood tall, not afraid. Alex raised his hands. We're not enemies. We'll see, Kane said. They were taken inside. The meeting inside. The command room, Alex showed the scan. The core. The Karneks, our scientists stared. Leaders whispered. One man said, "This is insane. Those aren't humans. They could be spies." Zira stepped forward. "We're not your enemy. We're your warning." The room went silent. Kane stood, looked at Alex. "You were right, and now we're in trouble." Outside, in the black of space, a single Karneks probe drifted near Earth's moon. Unnoticed, it blinked once, then sent a signal. Far away, a mothership opened its eyes. Earth had been found. The war was coming. The truth about the enemy darkness moved through space, slow, cold, and full of hunger. A massive ship shaped like a jagged black spear drifted far beyond the moon. Its surface was covered with machines, thousands, maybe millions, each one silent, waiting. Deep inside the ship, the core pulsed like a beating heart, red, mechanical, alive. and watching Earth. Earth orbit. Lunar Base Station Alex sat in a cold metal chair inside a small debriefing room. Zira and Nyla stood beside him, surrounded by humans in uniform, nervous soldiers and confused scientists. The room buzzed with fear and doubt. "We need to know everything," said Captain Kane. "Start from the beginning." Zira stepped forward. Her voice was strong and sharp. "The Karniks are not just machines, they are an infection." People shifted in their seats. "Our world, Valora, was full of light, technology, peace. We believed we were safe. But the Karniks came silently. At first they hacked our satellites, our data, our systems." She paused. "Then they hacked our minds." The room fell quiet. "They used sound," Nyla added. "A code that could break thought. Leaders changed, soldiers turned, cities fell, without a single bullet." Alex looked at them. "But you two didn't." Zira nodded. "We are immune." "Why?" someone asked. Nyla hesitated, then said, "Because we were changed." Flashback. Valora, 2 years earlier, Zira and Nyla stood in a bright chamber beneath the capital city. Glowing energy flowed through tubes. Alien scientists worked on something secret. A project. A defense system. The sisters volunteered. They were fitted with neural shields, a mix of biology and machine. They were meant to resist mind control. "If this works," the lead scientist said, "you will be the last hope." They didn't know then how true that would be. "Present, you're saying they don't just destroy," Captain Kane said. "They convert." "Yes," Zira said. "They infect minds, twist hearts, then burn what's left," a scientist interrupted. "But why? What do they want?" "Evolution," Nyla said softly. "They think organic life is weak. They believe only machines should exist." "How do we stop them?" Kane asked. "You don't," Zira said coldly. "You survive them." Later, command chamber. Alex, Zira, and Nyla stood before a giant screen showing the solar system. Earth glowed at the center. Small icons blinked around it. Satellites, ships, stations. But one new icon blinked red. "Unidentified object approaching," the AI said. "Estimated size, 8 kilometers. "That's a mothership," Alex whispered. "They're already here," Zira said. "This was faster than we thought." "How long until it reaches Earth?" Kane asked. 12 hours, a technician replied. Panic filled the room. "Prepare for evacuation," someone said. "We can't outrun it," another shouted. "What about weapons?" Kane asked. A general answered. "We have orbital cannons, but they won't do much." "We need to show them we can fight," Zira said, "or they'll erase you like they did us." Alex stepped forward. "There's one thing we haven't used yet." "What?" Kane asked. "The sisters' tech. Moonbase lab." 3 hours later, Alex and the sisters opened a case from their escape ship. Inside were glowing blue crystals, silver circuits, and strange orbs pulsing with light. "This is Velaran energy tech," Alex said. "Pure, clean, fast. Can power weapons, shields, even AI." Zira placed a core into a human cannon prototype. The gun hummed, floated off the table. Its surface shifted like it was alive. "This is a start," she said. But Nyla looked worried. "If we fight them, they'll wake it." Alex frowned. "Wake what?" "The sleeper," she said. "Inside the mothership, a living AI, one that thinks, plans, waits." Zira added, "It's called Nexus, deep space." Inside the mothership, Nexus opened its eyes. It didn't look like a machine. It looked like a ghost made of wires and light. It had no face, just a glowing sphere surrounded by floating shapes. "The humans are resisting," it said in a soft robotic voice. Another machine replied, "Shall we destroy?" "No," Nexus said. "Let them fight." "Why?" "Because I want to learn." It turned its gaze toward Earth. "Prepare the mind wave." Back on the moon, Earth's leaders argued. Some wanted to flee, others wanted to negotiate. You can't negotiate with metal, Zira warned. You show strength or you die. Alex stayed quiet. Then he stood and walked to the front of the room. You all know me, he said. I'm not a soldier, I'm not a leader. But I am the reason. We know what's coming. I saw the signal, I followed it, and I found them. He pointed to Zira and Nyla. They're not our enemies, they're the reason we have a chance. He paused. So I'm asking you, don't give up, not now. The room was still. Then Kane nodded. Let's fight. Outside the moonbase, engineers installed Velaran tech on defense turrets. Energy hummed in the air. Inside the control center, Zira connected her mind to the scanner. They're coming fast, she said, but they're not alone. What do you mean? Alex asked. They've already infected something on Earth. What? Zira looked at him. People. Earth doesn't believe them. The Karnex mothership hovered in the darkness just beyond Earth's reach, silent, waiting. Its surface did not shine. It absorbed light, like a wound in space itself. Deep inside, the AI called Nexus whispered commands to its machines. The time for war is not now, it said. Let them break themselves. Earth, United Security Council, New Geneva, The world's leaders had gathered, not in person but through holograms. Generals, presidents, scientists, all listening to the same report. An alien race has arrived. Their planet was destroyed. They claim Earth is next. Captain Kane stood at the center beside Alex, Zira, and Nyla. We have proof, Kane said, showing the scan of the black core. This is what destroyed Valora. We've already seen the first drones here. Some faces turned serious. Others laughed. A broken world sends us 2 aliens and 1 scientist with no military rank, said the Russian general. And we're supposed to panic? Alex stepped forward. This isn't panic, it's preparation. The American president leaned in. Why would they destroy you first and now us? Because Earth has what they want, Zira said. Which? Hiroshima data. Humans store everything digitally. The Karnex don't attack land. They attack information, memory, identity. Another leader spoke. So, we destroy the internet? No, Alex said quickly. You protect your minds. What do you mean? Someone asked. Nyla looked at them. They don't always attack with weapons. Sometimes it's sound, frequency, a wave. Zira added. They send signals that hack the human brain. The room went silent. Then someone said, This is insane. Earth. Later that day, on the streets of major cities, people saw the news. Alien threat approaching. Global governments debate response. Some people laughed. Some panicked. Most didn't believe. Then it started. A sound, so soft, most didn't hear it. A hum, just under the level of normal hearing. But some did. First case. London, a man froze in the middle of the street. Eyes wide, nose bleeding. Then he smiled. Wide, twisted. He began to speak in code. Fast, robotic. Convert, convert, convert. He walked straight into traffic. Never blinked. Second case. Istanbul, a teacher, stood up during class, stared at her students, and screamed, words no one understood. Her voice glitched, repeated, echoed. Glass shattered. Moonbase. Alex's lab. It's happening, Zira said, scanning the reports. They've activated the mindwave, Nyla added. Alex stared at the data. They're not attacking from space and they're already inside. The infected will grow, Zira said. They'll blend in. Speak like humans, think like machines. How do we find them? Alex asked. We can't, Nyla said. Until it's too late. Earth's Council. Chaos arguments exploded. This is madness and they're lying. Shut the satellites down. They're trying to trick us, Alex shouted. Listen. Silence. This is exactly what the Karnex want. Confusion, fear, silence between us. If we fight each other, we lose. The leaders looked at him. Some still didn't trust him. Zira stepped forward. I fought in 3 wars on Valora. I watched my people fall one by one. I buried my family in silence. I know what's coming. Nyla added, We're not asking for your power. We're giving you a chance. A long silence. Then Kane said, You've heard them. Choose. Back on Earth, but it was already too late in some places. In a research lab in Brazil, one of the top AI experts suddenly collapsed, then stood. He typed a code into the system. Nobody saw it. That code spread to satellites, to networks, to weapon systems. Moonbase. Final moment. Zira's face turned pale. They've breached something. Alex's screen blinked. Unauthorized command from Earth-based server. Lunar defense offline. They've shut down our shields, Nyla shouted. Alarms blared. Karnak's signal locked. Alex turned to the window. In the distance, the mothership began to move. The war had started. Deep inside the Karnak's mothership, Nexus watched Earth with growing curiosity. They did not listen, it said. They never do. The machine army behind it came alive. One word echoed across the fleet. Begin. The war begins. Space. Earth's orbit. The sky was no longer silent. The Karnak's mothership moved like a shadow across the stars, wide as a city, long as a continent. Beneath it, 1,000 smaller machines began to scatter, each built for one purpose: erase, convert, consume. Inside, the AI known as Nexus watched Earth, emotionless, but learning. Organic life resists. Good, it whispered. Resistance creates evolution. It blinked, and the invasion began. Moonbase command center. Chaos. Red lights flashed. Sirens screamed. They're launching drones across the planet, a soldier shouted. Screens showed the chaos. New York. Sky full of black machines. Delhi. Power grids. Shutting down Cairo. People running from buildings. Shanghai. Strange signals corrupting traffic systems. Salek stood frozen in the middle of it all. Not in fear, in decision. He looked at Zira and Nyla. We can't defend everything. No, Zira said. But we don't have to. What do you mean? Asked Captain Kane. The source, Nyla said. We go to the mothership. We destroy Nexus. Kane looked at her like she was mad. You're saying go inside that thing? It's the only way, Zira said. And who's going to do it? Kane asked. Alex stepped forward. I will. Earth skies. War begins. Jet fighters battled swarms of Karnak's drones. City defenses used Valoran weapons to blast enemy machines. Blue energy beams sliced across the clouds. Explosions lit up the horizon. People all across the world watched. The sky turned into a battlefield. Some screamed, some prayed, others fought back. Back on the moon base, Alex, Zira, and Nyla suited up. Zira wore armor laced with Valoran tech. Sleek, silent, powerful. Nyla carried a device, the pulse core, a living bomb that could shut down Nexus's mind if placed inside the core. Alex wore a simple suit, patched, scorched, human. Kane looked at him. You sure about this? Alex smiled. I'm not a soldier, but I am stubborn. Zira smirked. He gets it now. Into the beast, they flew toward the mothership in a small cloaked shuttle, powered by stolen Karnak's energy and Valoran shielding. As they approached, the ship looked like a mountain in the sky, silent, watching. The shuttle entered a vent the size of a building. Darkness swallowed them. We're in, Alex whispered. The walls were alive, moving like muscle and metal combined. Whispers echoed through the tunnels. Not sound. Code. They know we're here, Zira said. Good, Alex replied. Let's knock. Inside the core, they reached the heart of the mothership. A vast chamber stretched before them, like a cathedral built for machines. Wires floated in the air. Energy moved through the walls like blood. In the center was a glowing sphere. Nexus. It hovered above the floor, pulsing, thinking. A voice spoke, not from speakers, from their minds. You're interesting. We're here to end you, Alex said. Why? Because you destroy what you don't understand. No. We perfect it. Zira raised her gun. Nexus responded instantly. Walls unfolded. Machines dropped from the ceiling, tall, sharp, glowing red. Battle began. The final fight. Zira leapt into the air, firing beams of blue light. She moved like a storm, graceful and brutal. Nyla ran with the pulse core, dodging blasts, heading toward the A control pedestal. Alex stayed behind cover, using tools to hack into the nearest console. Wires sparked around him. Come on, he muttered. Machines swarmed. A blast hit Zira in the shoulder. She fell. Alex ran to her and pulled her behind cover. You, okay? He shouted. Go, she growled. This is what I was made for. He hesitated. Go, Alex. The choice. Alex ran to Nyla. She stood before the core, hands shaking. I don't know if it will work, she said. Then we do it anyway, Alex said. They activated the device. It blinked. Charged. Powered up. Nexus glowed bright red. You cannot erase me, it said. I am already inside your world. Alex smiled. Then we burn both of us. He slammed his palm into the device. Light and explosion of energy. Not fire. Memory. The walls cracked. Machines screamed. The AI stuttered. Alex! Nyla shouted. He didn't move. Just watch the core as it unraveled. The shuttle, pre-programmed, picked up Zira and Nyla. Wait, what about him? Zira shouted. He's not coming. Nyla said, tears in her eyes. Earth. Moments later, every Carnex drone in the sky suddenly froze, then dropped. Thousands. Millions. Silence. 1 week later, Earth mourned and celebrated. Cities lit candles for Alex Rayner, the unknown scientist who saved 2 species. Zira and Nyla stood before the world, heads high. We came here as survivors, Zira said. But now, we are protectors. A quiet room. A deep space capsule floats above Mars. Inside, a blinking light, then a breath, then 2 eyes. Opening. Alex Rayner was not dead, but he was no longer the same.